Oh, hello. It's just looking at my screen. I get distracted by pretty things. Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking How you going? Back again. Thought I'd split up the two lives because I just needed time to clean off my table from all my new stuff. And so welcome. A play with a couple of new products and hopefully make some cards at the end. Last one later, yes. Well, at least someone will be watching me make a mess. I'm going to make cards, Tabitha. Don't fall over. I still say I'm not a card maker and my friends tell me otherwise. So I'm just hoping that's all in frame. Just trying to push all the stuff out of frame that's, you should see around my desk. Playing around with a new filming setup and a new desk. I don't like it. Isn't that dreadful? Start with I'm on lino and my chair just runs around everywhere. I'm on a computer chair with wheels and the desk is a couple of inches too high. So I've got to play around with another option. So today I was going to have a beautiful example to show you what we're doing, but hey, life happened and that didn't happen. So we're going to make it up as we go along. I do that all the time. What we are going to play with is one of my new release shapes. So I've just done a live with showcasing some of my new mixed media cardstock shapes. Don't know how long you get to stay, Tabitha. That's alright. I can see on that lately. Get the best answers when I talk to myself. So this is one of our new shapes. She does come in multiple sizes on the website, and she does come smaller as well. Don't think small is on the website. Basically, when I cut basically when I cut shapes, if there's space left over on the cutting material, I don't like to waste anything. So I shrink things down and cut smaller things and play around with sizes. So often the same design is done in several sizes and they're good for different purposes. So we're going to make a mixed media colourful card background, and then we are going to probably make her black, stick her on, and then I've got somewhere on my desk some Delusions stains I'm going to stick down the side. That's the plan. I don't know what it's going to end up like at the end. So I've got a bunch of cards in front of me. I have a couple of stencils we're going to play with. This is my new Shattered stencil. It's a bit hard to see white and white. I will put some colour down so you have to see something in a minute. And this is our flower stencil. They're the new ones on the website at the moment. So I've just grabbed a sheet of 260 GSM cardstock, mixed media cardstock, from my friend up at Jen from Hillbilly Scrappin'. She sells it and it is fantastic for mixed media. It is nice and thick and it takes paint and ink and water and a lot of abuse really, really well. So actually I'm going to take my Fitbit watch off because I can see it's not going to stay black for long. This was my Christmas present to me. So my daughter and I have been fun tracking our steps and having a competition who walked more steps. The problem is when you have a big day in Melbourne and then you look at the counter and go, oh my god, no wonder I'm exhausted, I've walked 12,000 steps or 15,000 steps. Probably not a good idea. So I decided to use my favourite Dina Wakley paints today. So I've just grabbed a bunch. I don't even know where these colours go together. I don't know where my good colours are. They must be in a class box. I'm in the process of delining words. Not my friend today. I apologise. I'm very tired. I spent all in Melbourne at a doctor's appointment, and I have to go back on Monday for another doctor thing for my daughter. So by Tuesday, I think I'll just want to hide in bed and not do anything. I do have blues and greens somewhere. It doesn't matter. We're going to go with these colours. We're going to make them work. So I love Dina Wakley paints because the punch of colour they give, and they're a heavy body paint. Again, these come from my friend at Hillbilly Scrappin'. I buy all my supplies from Jen. If you are in country Victoria or are in Victoria and you come to any of our craft shows that are hopefully going to happen this year, cross our fingers, Jen and from Hillbilly Scrapping and myself get together and do classes. We have a show in Bendigo coming up in March. We have Ballarat in April. I will put events and times and that up on my Facebook page soon. Okay, that's March, April. June we're in Bendigo again for Craft Alive, and then we're planning July, we haven't got one. August we're planning to go to Paper, hopefully that goes ahead. And then June, That's August. September, we don't have one. October, we're in Sandown in Melbourne. I think that's the last show of the year. Maybe another little one in there. And we're doing lots of virtual things as well. And craft shows will be turned into virtual ones if that lovely C word derails our plans again. Okay, so I've just grabbed a baby wipe out. I'm going to be applying some of this paint with a baby wipe or my spatula thing I grabbed. What colour am I going to start with? Do I want to go lightest to darkest, or do I want to... I don't know, I don't want to make a decision today. Let's just throw some paint down. I'll just move these out of the way, hope the lighting's alright. So basically the plan is to sit here and throw a lot of paint on this bit of paper. I basically want to cover... Oh, now I've got my spatula and paint. Oh god. It's going to be one of those days, I can tell. If I didn't mention, I'm a little tired. Make a background with paint and then add some stenciling and some mark making over the top, just to make a background for a person to stand out on. So I'm not being too precious, I'm just putting the paint anywhere I like. With spreading the paint out with a baby wipe, you are doing it really, really thin, so I shouldn't have to wait for drying time for these paints. And this is a 12-inch piece of paper, so ideally I should get 6 cards out of this. So I may not make the whole 6 cards with you, I'll probably do 1 and then I'll make the rest off. Where am I going to go next? Let's go with colours. First one was lemon, next one is cheddar. I really like cheddar. I like going from light to dark because then you can sort of, as you build up the layers, you can add a little less. So my main colour is yellow. And then I can just add bits of colour in here. The more you becomes, I'm going to be putting lots of layers on this. So this could easily be a page in my art journal. This could be a scrapbooking background. Doesn't have to be cards. I just thought cards might sound simple today. So going right to the edge of the page. I can turn my paper around and might do the next colour the different way. So these paints are almost dry when I am putting them on, and spreading them with the baby wipe helps to put only a thin layer on. So how's everyone's Thursday going? There is lots happening with the Great International Craft Show. I have to keep calling it that because last year it was a Great Australian Craft Show. Just got my head around that. Let's pick, we go pink, we go... What do we go? Let's go magenta. Not blushing. Blushing's a bit pink. So I'm just going to go in sort of less spots as I build up my layers with the dark. So the Great International Craft Show is a 4-day event. So it's starting today. Today kicks off. It goes. So I'm planning another live tomorrow, probably be an art journal page with one of our new products, and that time will be posted on the weekend, which is where Hillbilly Scrapping is from. I often travel up to Swan Hill to do planning for events and different events. So I'm heading up there at the weekend and we're going to do some combined stuff. So what we'll do is we'll be live on one Facebook page and then we will share it to the other page. So I'll probably be live on her page because I'm at her house using her filming equipment. Sorry, just flicking down the comment. So we'll make sure we share the event. So we're looking at doing some product demos and we've got some new things to release. So definitely stay with us till Sunday. I'm tired and I have heartburn, Tabitha. Oh no, yeah, I'm tired, Tabitha. I got home from Melbourne. We got home at about 7 o'clock. And then I had about 5 hours of work to do that I didn't get done before we went to Melbourne. I'm actually grateful that her appointments didn't fall on days that I had commitments like today. But going down to Melbourne the day before and then going... so basically Wednesday I was in Melbourne, Thursday I'm home, Friday I'm in Swan Hill, Saturday I'm in Swan Hill, Sunday I'm in Swan Hill, and then Monday I'm in Melbourne again. I don't even know what planet I'm on lately. I don't even know where I am half the time. Or what day of the week it is, which is nothing unusual. So just using some fuchsia, which is a darker red. So you just have to be a bit careful with what colours you use. if they're a little moist like they are, that they're not completely dry, because you don't want the colours to make mud. In the warm family of colours, so if you look at a colour wheel, colours that sit next to each other on the colour wheel won't actually make mud, but for example, if I did red and green, I would make a muddy mess. Looks like a bit of a mess at the moment. I was going to go the opposite direction and then I put it the same way. Okay, let's go Sedona. I shouldn't talk and try to work at the same time. Let's do Sedona crosswise, just for something different. Whoops. I've also been getting ready for an in-person retreat that's happening in that Hillbilly Scrapping is hosting in Echuca, Moama, or in Moama, just over the border into New South Wales, in 2 weeks' time. So I've been getting ready for all that. So it's just been go, go, go at my house lately. I look at my diary lately and it's like a dog's breakfast. March is just looking horrid. It's just appointment after appointment keep going in. Sorry, just reading a comment. House inspections, at least after he turns up. I've had issues with tradesmen not turning up lately. I've organised a tradesman to come in the house to do something. Twice he hasn't turned up. First I sort of let them go, but then second time it's like, ugh. So I think I'll be finding a new tradesman in that department to come in and do the work I require, because if you don't turn up twice and don't tell me, then I'll wait around all day. And it annoyed me because I cleaned up everything off my bedroom floor and put it on my bed, and I had to move it back off my bed twice. Okay, now we have a hot mess, but that's okay. We're gonna turn it into a good, not a hot mess. Okay, just have to wait for that to dry just a smidgen, because the next technique I want is, hang on, I might just plug my heat tool in and give it a quick buzz. Oops. Because the next technique I want to dry. It's just these last couple of colours that aren't completely dry. Okay, perfect. Now, what are we going to do? The problem is when I sit in my office chair, it wants to wheel way away from the desk. Oh, at least your tradesmen call you. I've given up lately. Or I call tradesmen to get them out to quote things and you never hear back from them. It's like they don't return phone calls when you leave messages. I don't know. If you're too busy, usually I just tell people that I'm too busy and at least give them a call or a text. I don't know. Okay, now I want to use a flower or something on the website. I was loading these late last night, so I was making up really cool names. Or I got really tired and was just calling some really silly things. I want to tone down some of these dark. I use the stencils in 2 ways. I didn't get a paint palette. Paper on my desk. I'm just going to throw my paint straight on this. So this is buff. So these darker areas are really standing out, so I want to sort of knock them back a bit. So I've got a makeup sponge. Actually just have to keep an eye on my phone. I'm waiting on it's a bit early for the text message to come through. Waiting on a text message about something that's happening today. So just picking up a makeup sponge, or half a makeup sponge. I was using this one the other day, so I just cut off the dried paint. When you're stenciling, you don't want a lot of paint in your sponge. You want a very small amount because you don't want it to leak underneath, especially with these sort of fine stencils. So you pick up a bit of paint and you sort of tap it off onto a scrap bit of paper, onto a paint palette, and then you go up and down motion. So I'm just holding the stencil down. The more you go over it, the more you can build it up to be like a darker colour. Oops. So it has leaked under a bit, but it's still looking really good. You're going to having trouble seeing on a white surface with a off-white paint how much paint I've got out. Oh, of course he's going next door first. Oh, this... Oh, Tabitha, that's no good. I got excited when the postman turned up this morning. The letter post, which is really unusual. Usually it's a parcel postie that brings me parcels. It was what I was expecting. But it's some stuff I bought and can't play with till I get my work done. Oh, isn't that always the way? Maybe somehow I can incorporate it into my work. So I just want to add some detail. I need a bit more paint. Doesn't look like much at the moment, but the advantage of doing these, what we call masterboards or all over pages and cutting them up, is it can look a mess in a big amount, but then when you cut it down, it doesn't look like a mess at all. Well, we hope that in like a little bit of time. So I'm going to use the same stencil with a darker colour paint. I also don't want my background too overpowering as well. I sort of want it to be colourful and pretty and chaotic, but I don't want it to be overpowering, if that makes sense. Clear as mud, right? Yep. Now I'm going to pick another colour, so I'm going to stay with the colours I've done. So let's go with... Decisions. I'm not good at decisions. I don't want it that dark. Maybe I want this one. We'll go back to cheddar. I love the cheddar and the pink and the orange combination. That's really cool. I'm not going to change my makeup sponge, so this is going to lighten it a bit, but that's okay. Just going to get the bulk of the paint out. And now we're just going to go over some of the yellow and put a little bit of the leafy colouring. As I said, it's probably looking like a hot mess, but it'll come. A lot of times mixed media goes through a hot mess stage and you go, I hate it, keep pushing on, keep throwing stuff at it, and then eventually it will come out the other side. And sometimes it's only one thing on the top layer, you like it. Okay, buzz with the heat tool. It's very thin paint when you are stenciling, so it doesn't take long to dry. What I might do is just pop it aside a bit, and I'm going to paint my little white mixed media person black at the top of the colours and see what it looks like. I'll give that a bit of time to dry. So I'm just going to paint it with black gesso. I could use black acrylic paint, but black gesso is on my table and it will work just as well. Problem is, if I put black in my makeup sponge, then I can't use my other colours. So I'm just going to cut my makeup sponge down in half because I forgot to. That's right. I'm just going to dab off into the lid with the black gesso, and then the basic same action, just going to go up and down and give it an all coat of gesso. I could leave it white. If you're wanting it to be stark white, sometimes unfortunately with the cutting process it does get these are laser cuts, so they're basically burnt. So they're burnt with a laser, so sometimes the white mixed media cardstock may have little black flecks on it, especially if you want to reverse the image and use it backwards. There's no reason why you can't. Reverse it and use the heads facing the other way, or use the images. Just means you'll see when you purchase them that there's a cleaner side than and a dirtier side. If you do want to flip the image, you just got to give it a couple of coats of white gesso or white paint, and it will cover up those little black burn marks and you'll be right to go. Or if you find there's a little bit of sort of dirtiness on the top of them just from the laser process, just give it a bit of white paint. Primarily I colour mine with black, a lot of these shapes, so they work really well. You got an Amazon order. I actually ordered something off eBay too and got an Amazon package. I was surprised. I ordered something on Sunday and it arrived on Tuesday. I nearly fell backwards when it arrived because I was not expecting it to be that quick. Just going to dry this so I can put my page back here and dry my shape. So the advantage of when you're stenciling it, you stencil them onto a bit of scrap paper and then you're sort of getting a 2-for-1. You are decorating the shape that you're actually using and then you're getting this negative version. I can tear this out and use this in a... And I'm just working on some... here in Australia you can go to the what we call the deli and order whatever quantity of meat, sliced meat or cabana or sometimes raw meat you would like. And my daughter loves cabana, so every time we have a grocery order come in, she gets 1 stick of cabana for the week. Disappears within 5 minutes of it arriving, and then she has to wait a whole 7 days for her next lot. So that paper doesn't actually, doesn't actually touch the meat because it's in a plastic bag, and it's nice and thin. So long story short, I grabbed that for my card making. Very long-winded today. So you can see the black shape is going to stand out nice on the colourful background. I'm having so much trouble speaking today. Okay, now what do I want to do? I want to add some more stenciling. Let's add some... Okay, I want to do some reverse stenciling with this. Now I've got to choose what colour I want to do that with. So I want to go, when I say reverse stenciling, you've seen me do this stencil, so move paint through the stencil. It's a really cool technique. Basically means you can get 2 designs or 2 effects from the one stencil, which is cool. I'm going to go light blue. So when you're doing reverse stenciling, it only works on top of paint or on top of gesso. If you just do this on raw paper, it doesn't work because the paint soaks into the paper and you don't want that. You want it to sit on top of something so you can wipe it off. Now, where am I going to do this? I'm going to do this over here, over here. Let's not think. Let's just plop some paint down. Now I'm just going to take, I could take a brush, or I'm just going to take my spatula and out the paint. Let's go this way with this one. So whilst the paint is wet, we're going to take a... We're thinking, oh my god, you cover everything up. What? First time people see this, they you can see their mouths wide open when I do it in person. You're going, what are you doing? Okay, so now we take semi-clean. No, we'll get a clean baby wipe. That other one's got too much yuck on it. So we'll take a semi-clean baby wipe, and before this paint dries, we're going to lay our stencil over the top and rub. And I'm hoping I don't wiggle the camera. I was trying to separate my camera from my desk this morning so it doesn't touch my desk with the tripod. Okay, so we're going to wipe it off. So you actually are wiping the paint away from the holes and you're getting just sort of the lines through. It's quite warm here today, so hopefully I should have done one section at once. Okay. Do as you're told and don't do as I do, which is a lot of time in my classes. Do one section at once because otherwise if it dries you won't have time to wipe it away. But I wasn't thinking. It's a bit loud. So it's hard to get it off. My paint was drying a little bit too much. I apologize if I'm wiggling the camera. Works holes like this. If you've got a stencil that doesn't work as well. Don't know whether I actually like that colour. I probably should have went darker. That's okay. We're going to just add some more paint and we're going to dry that off and tone some of that down. We're going to bring some got too much blue now. So when you're doing these, you can basically just play around until you're happy. Oh, showtime. I'll catch you later. Hope all goes well. Right now I'm just making a mess. Do you ever get to a page and go, oh my god, what was I thinking? Let's add some darker colours to it, because that might work. If not, we might just get a new sheet of paper and start again, hey? Fuchsia. Let's throw some fuchsia on it. Probably shouldn't have went with the blue, the light blue. Probably should have went with the dark blue. That's right. It's not over until it ends up in the rubbish bin. That's my philosophy. I'm going to do some mark making over the top of it. We'll see if we can rescue it. Yeah, I'm do that. This always happens when I do things live. When I'm crafting by myself, everything goes to plan, everything goes good. You chuck the camera on live and I don't know, it happens, but that's right. Maybe it's a pressure of being live and I can't edit it out. See, if I was filming this as a class video, I could edit this bit out and start a difference. Well, I'm liking that a bit more. It's going to bring my black figure back on, and it's a good idea to paint whatever your focal image is going to be first, and then you can always just keep moving it back onto here in sections and see what she's like. Or the very look, because it looks like she's having a bad day with all the writing going all over her body anyway. I don't know, I'm having fun. A mess, 2 for 5. Yeah. What are we going to do now? It's a bit plain down here, but I don't really want to put that darker colour down, so let's do a bit of stenciling through this one with what? I've got night sitting here, but it's my favourite colour. I don't want to use it because it's too dark, because it's going to clash with the black. So let's put that out of eye line. Let's go fuchsia. No, that's magenta. Let's go magenta. I'm being very indecisive today. So I'm just going to do some stenciling on paint pens, which always makes things feel better, always makes things look better. Lost my sponge. So I can go and add some lines to this stenciling to make parts of it pop. It's looking a bit of a hot mess, but I'm sure when I cut it down, it will be good. By using the sponge to stencil over the top, you're actually putting a thicker layer on, so you can actually stencil over the same colour and you can still see putting a darker layer on. What I might do is actually cut this down in a minute and then work out what pencil work I want to do. So I'm just picking these white areas and just picking the bit of the stencil I want to. I don't need to use the stencils in the whole bit of the stencil, but I can see tracing around some of these lines will really bring it out. Now I'm wondering if I'm finished with the paint or I'll add some more. Decisions. I think I'm going to dry it off and cut it up, and then we'll see. We can always add some more as we go along. So I'm just going to spread this paint out on my work surface out of the globs that I've got sitting here. It'll make it dry a lot quicker, and I play around on this back paper until it's all covered, and then I will go and change it, and then I've got some pretty pattern to play with. Just give this a bit of a dry. mainly that pink stenciling I just did. And I just have to grab my large trimmer. I grabbed my small one because I was doing cards and I forgot I had to cut up that bit of paper. Bear with me one moment. I have just purchased this from I actually got this in Melbourne last time I was down, a couple of weeks ago, from Daiso. And I thought, that's great for card making. It'll be great just to cut little bits. And then I forgot I had to cut this up. So I'm going to cut this up into, let's see what size we're going. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 by 6. So if I cut into 6 by 4, I can always trim them down. 4 inches. So we'll cut in half. It's a 30 centimetre piece of paper, so we should get 6 cards out of this. And we'll go to 4. Now, as you can see, cutting them down makes them look a lot better. You don't have that whole bit of and so on a big scale, it's just overpowering to your eye to see all of it. So now we've got little card fronts. I'm going to add some more stuff to them. So now when I add my little person on, so I can add her on either side, she will look really cute. I've only got the one. Go grab some more. Oh, I like her on that one. Let's work on this one. So on each of these X cards, I'm just going to add some pen work and maybe a bit more. So she's looking and back them with a bit of black to go on the white card. So let's go with this one. So if she sits sort of there, I'm going to grab a black pen. Do I want a black pen or a white pen? Let's actually cut it down to the size it's going to be on our card. So how big is our card going to be? So I want a little bit of a black border. Sorry, I've just got to measure the card. I should have worked out the measurements before I started. Okay, so my card is 15 centimeters. So if I go and cut it down at 11 and 11.6 centimeters, it's going to be fun to see upside down. Then I'll have a 2mm border of black and then a 2mm border of white. What did I say? Did I say 11? No, I meant 14.6 centimeters. So 14 point, there's 5, there's 6. Sorry if my head gets in the way. So if we cut it down to size, then we can work out how much white we want. So then we want it to be 9.6 centimeters. And I'll admit now, cutting down and getting things the right size. See, that's too long. What did I do? It's not. Maths is not my strong suit. Okay, so obviously that's not right. Let's measure again. Ah, it's 14.5, so we have to go just over 14.1. This is why I like to tear paper, because then I don't have to get it accurate. So for anyone that's just joined us, I've just noticed our count go up a little. Need a painty background, just using some Dina Wakley paint on a big 12-inch page, and we've just snipped it down into little bits. And now cards. And mounting and getting things straight is not what I'm good at. I often tear things so then I don't have to cut them straight. So this is one of our white mixed media card card, what am I trying to say? Cutouts that I sell on our website. I'm just looking for a black piece of paper to put that on. Don't know whether that's going to be enough. Let's go and just got some black paper next to me because I do want to see how it looks on the black, so then I know how much black and white I want to add to the piece. So I'm actually not going to stick it all together until I'm finished, but I want to see what it looks like. Oh, doesn't that just look pretty? It will if I can get the layers straight. Okay, so I think it needs a scribbly border around the edge with a thin pen. Sorry, I've got piles and piles of stuff beside me. I had a bag of pens. Hidden by the rubbish bin. I'm looking for my thin pen. Okay, actually, let's stick it to this black bit because I know it's going to go on there and I can cut it down. As I said, I was just not going to stick it down before, but now I've decided to. I can change my mind, can't I? I don't know, are you a card maker that sticks everything down first, or do you not stick anything down until you're totally done? I'm usually someone that doesn't stick anything together till I've everything, but I want to see how much black to put on my card. I'm going to show you a handy trick with this double-sided tape in a minute. So I'm just putting double-sided tape on all 4 sides. I know it's hard to see white on white. Then I'm going to pick a corner of each of the 4 strips and just fold it back. So the little bit of the double-sided paper sticks out from the edge of the card. This is how I line it up easier. I saw this trick on YouTube many years ago. I can't remember who showed it to me, but it was fantastic. Because for anyone that's new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I do have low vision, so sometimes it's hard for me to see things in the distance. Most people don't realise I have low vision because I can do most things, but lining up things is not fun. So now that I've only exposed this little bit of tape, there's not a lot of adhesive exposed. So I can place this down on my desk and move it around and it's not going to grab, which is really cool. So I'm going to line it up on the 2 sides. So as you can see, I've got the ability to move it around. I think I've got that on 2 sides. Now, when you're happy with it, press down where the tape is exposed and a little bit of it will grab, and it's just enough to hold it in place. Place your hand gently on top just so it doesn't slide around, and grab one of your tails and gently pull. And I just love how these curl up when you pull them out. But you can just pull out from each of the sides and then you don't have to worry about your piece moving. So I use this when I scrapbook, I use it when I card make. The only thing you have to do is have one continuous piece of double-sided tape. If you have 2 shorter bits, you have to bring the tail out from the 2 shorter bits. Let's cut this down. See if I can cut it straight. Well, we should have gone with a torn edge. I like torn edges. They don't have to be straight. Okay. Aha. Ooh. We might actually get it straight today, but that's right. If you've ever received a handmade card from me, you know things aren't perfect and aren't straight. I admire people that can do it that way, but it ain't me. Okay. Does it fit on the card? Because I sort of did this backwards. Oh, yeah, it does. Because when I measured my colourful panel, I did it 4 millimeters shorter than the card, anticipating to have 2 millimeters of the black and then the white, but we've got a small bit of the white, but we're going to go with that. I do need to invest in some cutting dies that cut these beautiful layers, and I could cut all my pieces on the cutting dies. Now, which way I want my piece to go. And I really like it with a little bit of black. Sometimes it doesn't take much to make the pieces pop. For example, say if I just had this one on another white card up here, it doesn't pop as much when you just have the colourful piece on white. So that little bit of black, that extra step, makes it look really cool. Now I'm going to do a scribbly edge. So this is just a, what is it? An eyeball micro from Officeworks. I just like it because it's a nice thin line. I do a lot of my pen sketching in this, a lot of my Zentangling and doodling and stuff. And I find it goes over paint really well. Just doing multiple lines Multiple lines work better than one line. And it looks a bit better. Which side did I have her on? I had her on this side. So I don't mind that her hand comes over the border. What else do we need to do? I think I might outline this stenciling down here, and again, just in a very sketchy way, it'll give her sort of a ground to stand on without sort of drawing in a ground. I tend to don't like things floating on my pages. I'm a bit like that. I like things to be sort of grounded. So she's just going to stand on there, which is going to ground her. Before I do much more, let's have a play around with the sentiment, because that is important too. Okay, I've got a bunch of delusion sentiments here. Let's pull a couple of sheets out. This is what I do with my stamped images, or my stamps. I've got a bunch of delusion stamps, and I'll go and stamp them all on bits of paper. Got time, and then now, for example, I want to use one, but I don't have inks and my stamping press. I can just pick one. There was one about art I saw before. Life is hard, your art shouldn't be. Let's do that one. I like that saying. So I do this with a lot of my stamped images, whether they be sayings or whether they be pictures or anything. Especially, I'm really in love with delusion stamps at the moment. And Hillbilly Scrapping has a fantastic range of those. I'm trying to be good and use the ones I've got without buying more, but they seem to follow me home. Every time I go up to Jen's place, she always has new stuff that I just have to have. I just have to buy and use. Now, I like these words because they are in little word blocks, but it doesn't mean that you have to use them as they are. We can always cut them individually. And I apologise if I'm out of frame when I'm cutting. If I don't have what I'm cutting quite near me, I might slice off a finger. Okay. To come down here, and at the moment the words are like sort of too big. So I'm gonna actually cut them in half. And when you cut them in half, you can just easily put another black line down to match the border up. Life is hard. Life is hard. Life is hard. Problem is, when you cut them up, you have to play alphabet soup to put them back together. Your art shouldn't be. Your art shouldn't be. Let's just cut them all into single words, will we? Then I'll fix them up after I stick them down. Life is hard. Your art shouldn't be. I think that is looking really cool with our white. Oh, he said you have too much stuff. Oh, I would love to see. I've heard that from when we have inspections as well. I feel like saying I run a business and I like craft stuff. I would love to see into the people's houses that actually come and comment on your house. I'm sure, unless they're a crafter or a hobbyist, they don't quite understand that we need a lot of stuff. Oh. That's right, Tabitha. Until you're featured on the Hoarders TV show, I don't think you have enough stuff yet. Looking for something to glue these down with. Okay, what are we going to do? Hopefully a glue stick will work, because that's what's at hand. So I think I'm liking that. How's it looking, Tabitha? Tabitha's my usually go-to. I'll send her pictures of what I'm working on and go, do you like it? It's good to have friends like that give you honest opinions. Sometimes I think something looks really good and it doesn't. I'm lucky at the moment. I've got a big shed to hide a lot of my stuff that no one goes in. I don't know. It's just hard to organise craft supplies. I think it always looks a mess. So this is just a normal kid's glue stick. Hopefully it will stick over the paint. Sometimes I have issues with just using a normal glue stick over paint. That's good. Now I'm going to fix up the sides of the words that I cut between. And again, I apologise if I'm out of frame, but I've got to see what I'm doing, or my head comes into frame. So I'm just going to put a line down just so they match and it doesn't look like I cut them off. There we go. Unless you looked really hard, you wouldn't know that I have chopped them off. And we're going to stick that on the white. And I was just about to look at my wrist for the time, and I don't have my watch on. That's right. So again, I'm going to use the same trick to line up the black bit on the card. I was intending to do, it's a bit short for the side, I was intending to do a bit more line work and stuff on the front of the card, but I don't think it needs it. When I put it all together, I'll have another look. And knowing when to stop is hard to, hard skill to learn. You can keep going and going and going. So I'm just going to peel off. It doesn't matter which edge or which, whether you've got two facing each other with these little tabby things you pull off so you can line your card up better. It does not matter which end you pull off, as long as you pull off one end of all your 4 bits of tape. You only have to fold it back, let's say about 1/2 inch, basically enough to grab. Now, let's see if we can get it straight on the card. As I said, lining, I might have to do it directly over it to line it up. I tend to sort of get it lined up and then go, oh yeah, it's right, stick it down and go, oh no, it's not. Oh no, I'm going to stand up. I can't see what I'm doing. Can't see what I'm doing on a good day. And let's try to make it so the card actually opens and not stick it backwards, which I'm prone to do. I need a bit of black paper under that because I can't see what I'm doing. Where's the black offcut sleeve? This is a bit better. I sometimes need the black under the white so I can see it, because the white on that piece of paper on my desk is not good. There we go. Done. May not be perfect, but it's perfect enough. Oh, pretty good. Now my figure goes back here. Might do a little bit of white in the background. I've got white on the title, I've got white around the edge, but I've got no white in my colour. So let's see. I might leave that there so it's a bit hard to, a bit easier to see. I'm going to grab a broad Signo gel pen from Officeworks again. Maybe I stick her on before I do my white. Where do I want white? I think it needs it, but I don't know where to put it. I think we'll just do a little bit around here. So I'm just going to pick a couple of these petals just to put some really sketchy lines around. I'm not going to do every petal, and I'm just going to do it really loosely, just because it needs a bit of white. Sorry, concentrating. It's hard to talk and work. Just needs a little bit of white to combine the white. So we've got white around the edge. We've got white on the quote, which is on the top. We've got white on the back, but we sort of had no white in the middle. We've got black in the middle because we've put our little scribbly line there. I don't know. Does it sound like I know what I'm talking about? I actually think that looks cute. Let's stick our person down. Now to stick these really, the glue stick probably won't work because this is 400 GSM cardstock and this was only 130 GSM paper. So I'm just going to grab some craft glue that I've got. Trying to use this one up so I can put some different glue in it. I do like the nib on this one. I usually use Helmar's 450, but I don't like the nib. It tends to have the glue come out quite quickly for smaller things like this. So this particular one I can buy and the lid is sealed and it's just got a pinprick in it. The glue's okay. It's okay for paper to paper. So I'm trying to I can put my good glue in this bottle. So you're wanting a glue that's more of a gel than like a gushy glue, because this is quite fine. Now I don't have to get glue everywhere. I'm going to pick the fattest pieces of her, or the thickest pieces, I should say, not the fattest, shouldn't I? The thickest pieces of the white cardstock. Come on, glue. Come on, down to the tip. It's nearly empty. Maybe I should grab another one. Oh no, I can feel it down at the tip now. Did I get any? Yeah, I did get some. Sorry if my head is in the way. Sometimes I need things quite close to me to be able to see what I'm doing. I craft a lot differently when I'm not filming or when I'm not doing a live stream. And it's hard to then go back and film and have things at a different angle, so you can see them under the camera, but hey, my head's not there, and I don't pull it away from camera to see what I'm doing. It's fun. Having low vision is fun. It sucks, but it's fun. Makes life interesting. That looks pretty spiffy, if I don't say so myself. Now I have 5 more backings to do, so I'm not going to bore you and make you watch me do, because it's going to be the same process. I am going to cut them down. I'm going to measure off this one. And I'm going to go cut some more of these people on my machine. I have some on the website. Take those ones away from you. Go cut my own. cut 5 more. I'm going to add different sayings, and what I'll do is when I'm finished, I will pop a photo of all 6 of them up on the Facebook group so you can see them, and probably on Instagram as well. So it's going to be the same process. I'm going to actually I've got a smaller one that's Crouching Girl. I may use my second design in this, which is, if I dive into my really quickly, no, maybe I don't, oh no, it's not that, oh here we go. I may actually do, this is one of the ones bagged up for sale, I may actually make 3, because this would look cool too. So this Crouching Girl with the words in it, we have in several sizes, so I made them to suit cards as an afterthought, but I also decided to resize them for art journals, because I know some people like small art journals, some people like big art journals. The idea behind making them in multiple sizes. Just finding the lid of my glue, which always gets lost on my desk. So this process, I'm just going to cover her, paint her black, stick her on, and do the pen quote, and on the website for you to have a look at. So thank you for bearing with me and watching my first live of the event. Now, if you are part of the Craft Alive Classroom subscription service, that is a mouthful every time I say it, which is basically a $20 a month subscription service, and you get access to the Craft Alive Classroom, which means you can watch live classes from all the exhibitors that do classes. I'll say that, not every exhibitor does. And I'm in the classroom, I believe I'm in classroom number 2, but do check your timetables, which can be found on the Craft Alive website. I'm in the classroom at 4:30 on Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and 8:30 on Sunday doing a project. It's a pre-recorded video, but watching it live at those times, you get to interact with me and chat. Don't worry if you can't make those times, all the videos are then put quite quickly after it gone live into the library on the Craft Alive website. But if you are not part or don't want to pay for the subscription, I understand it's not for everyone. The classes and the videos will be released for free after a month. Them's the rules, so that's what we do. So middle of March, the 4 classes that I filmed for this event will be put up on my YouTube channel and featured on the Facebook page. So if you like the Facebook page, you can then get notifications of those. I think I've rambled enough. I definitely need a drink. I'm getting quite sore in my throat from talking so much. Thank you very much for sticking around and playing with me. I will be back tomorrow at, check the Facebook page, because lately I make plans and then something happens. Life happens and things change. So I will post on the Facebook page tomorrow what time I'll go live, and then at the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Hillbilly Scrapping and Scrapbooking and Craft are going to do stuff together. Stuff. So you want to pay attention to that one too. Those events will be shared on both channels, so don't worry if you just like my page. If I go live on the Hillbilly page, Hillbilly Scrapping page, we will share that video across here so you can see it as well. I think that's it for me today. I do have a bunch of work to go and do. It doesn't involve any more lives, but I will see you in the classroom at 4:30, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, Tabitha, hang on, I'm just catching comments. Looks good. Oh, thanks, Tabitha. Yeah, it turned out better than I expected. When I didn't really like the blue on these, but I may add more to these. We'll see. Something different. Now your inspection's over with, you can get back to what you wanted to do. And I've got a huge to-do list to do this afternoon. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I will leave you to it now to go have a look at all these other exhibitors at Craft Alive. There is a bunch of us on there and lots of specials and sales. Bye for now.